Lego stopped using cadmium sulfide as a dye in the 1980s due to the potential toxicity to kids. However, they considered adding barium sulfate, often used as a white dye, also due to kids. Why? I'll give you that one more time. Lego stopped using cadmium sulfide as a dye in the 1980s due to the potential toxicity to kids. However, they considered adding barium sulfate, often used as a white dye, also due to kids. Why?
My first thought is that kids might try to eat the Legos, so maybe barium sulfide makes them taste bad.
That were like a Nintendo Switch cartridge.
I was thinking kids have sticky fingers that might take off the paint, or like something that the kids have. I think edible is probably safer, isn't it?
The cadmium is it's like toxic, right? It's like what they put in those McDonald's Shrek cups or whatever. And the barium is, they're doing it for kids, but not for a negative reason. So they're considering adding it
due to kids.
Due to kids, but not to their detriment. So it has to be for their safety, but they didn't.
I mean, I can say I'm considering it. Yeah, I considered putting like vitamin B12 in it. I just didn't.
Okay, so touch, or they put things in their mouths and choking hazards, and maybe it's something...
Oh, does it taste nice?
I'm not sure they want to encourage the kids to eat. Is it so that it can be digested, and like, is that too gruesome? Like if a kid eats something, surely it needs to pass through it.
Particularly if it's made of plastic. At that point, I think it's mostly macroplastic.
Because this is just the paint, or this is just like kind of the external, or I guess the Lego is like fully the color. But one thought, you mentioned that they did not end up doing it. So is it possible that they discovered that it did taste good, or that it could be more alluring to kids, and then in testing they bailed for that reason?
Asbestos paint.
You have identified that this is to do with eating Legos.
Okay. That really is the only other thing that kids do with Legos. It's leave them in the way of a parent and
to
eat
step
them.
on with bare feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or insert the tiny studs up their nose. Yeah.
Yeah, the nose is real risky.
I did do that.
If it doesn't make them taste bad, does it make them smell bad?
But we've all had Lego, right?
Yeah.
And it's never had a smell.
This was never implemented, right?
They didn't, no.
So
I have a very weak understanding of the natural world of the elements. Is there anything? What was the name of the thought about?
Barium sulfate, and that is important.
Barium. Berry. Tasty. Tastes good.
Sounds not tasty.
It does have another famous application.
Medical application.
Medical.
So it does something to you. Does it do something good or bad?
It actually does very little to you in itself.
But when combined with something that may already be something that kids are already doing, it could become a hazard. Maybe.
Oh, maybe something else they ingest.
This was actually to help kids, or
Right.
maybe more than that, help their parents.
It's like a sedative.
Oh, does it glow or something? Does it glow? So like if you had like an ultrasound because the kid had swallowed it, that it would show up?
Or just glow in the dark.
You're very close. That's not the right technology, but you're very close.
It shows up in something that in an X-ray?
Yes. Yes, it does. Have you ever heard of a barium meal?
Oh, so you have to ingest something so that it can detect, and then you go in an X-ray and it shows. Right.
Oh, like a coating liquid for
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely right, Mary.
My mother, who is a nurse in the NHS, will be ashamed of me for not putting that quicker. I was never a science nerd.
I think nurses in the NHS have their own problems right now. They might not have podcast time.
Yeah, Lego does not show up on X-rays. It's reported that the company considered adding barium sulfate so that doctors would be able to detect them. It is harmless. It doesn't dissolve in water. It was found that barium sulfate made the plastic more brittle, and the plan was dropped.
Wow, so you still cannot detect a Lego on an X-ray?
No, but you can still give someone a barium meal and see if there's a blockage.
Yeah, they were thinking of doing it to help kids, but when they realized it hurt their bottom line,
yes, yeah,
that's not
the product.
That's where we draw the line.
I think. Well, it was probably a Scandinavian mindset of Vels. It's for Darwinism.
Survival of the fittest.
The Lateral book is out now. Just click on the link to get your copy.